The 933rd edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Heidi ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 933 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to all my Canadians. Happy Thanksgiving, Canadians. The proper day for Thanksgiving is not all crammed up
Thanksgiving.
It is Thanksgiving Monday. It's not all crammed up like the Americans have theirs all crammed up right up against Christmas. So we spread ours out. So
we got another holiday this weekend. We're not working today either.
What's your holiday, Gumby?
Columbus Day.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So basically Thanksgiving. That's Daniel Gumby Vreeland. I am the Spicy Pimp Chef Fox. We're not talking about Canada or America for that matter this episode. We're going to Africa. We're going to Rwanda, Gumby. We're going to the capital of Rwanda, which is what, Gumby?
Oh, I don't know that.
It's Kigali, Kigali. I didn't know that either until I looked it up.
Now you know.
We have not talked about Rwandan fighters or Rwanda in general, I don't think, on the episode. So this could be a groundbreaking episode.
I don't know if I know a Rwanda fighter. Do I?
Yeah. I don't know if there's any on this card. I don't think.
There's one from Burkina Faso, which I was like, I kind of vaguely remember having talked about before.
Right. Yeah. So this is PFL Africa 3 is what we're covering. Thoughts on PFL Africa? It's probably, in terms of the food chain, it's probably like the lowest.
Well, I mean, it's newest too, right?
Yeah,
like,
and the talent. It's MMA's new for a lot of these areas as well.
Yeah.
So
well, and there's sort of like, I mean, like, there's a lot of potential on this in terms of some of the highest to high, and really that's how these PFL regionals like start to take off, right? Because like PFL Europe, everybody's like boring, what the hell, nobody cares. And then Decheva came off of it, and then everybody was like, okay, well maybe we ought to watch this. So like I think that there's the possibility of that here, especially because there's a fighter or two who I think is like, brings that same level of excitement and that possibility of like not just being good for PFL Africa, but also being good for PFL proper. Like there's a guy or two on this season who I think you might as well throw in the real tournament next year. So we'll talk about them in a bit.
And you got to think it's going to be good for the sport in the countries too that a lot of these fighters are coming from too, because they're actually getting exposure here. So
I know we crap all over PFL's business model and the idiot who runs the promotion, but like the concept itself is like really awesome. In terms of like, no, we're just going to have little tiny minor league. I mean, how many years like back in the GSP era were we like, the UFC needs a minor leagues and we need to figure out how to like feed these guys. Now the UFC has like 9 different inlets into there and basically uses LFA as a minor league, but like PFL actually did it and like has like what should be feeder promotions. And that's like pretty awesome in the grand scheme of things.
It is. There you go, PFL. You got some props from us. Well, we're
after I called your owner an idiot.
That's true. It's always backhanded. It's never a full-on compliment. All right, we're gonna dive into it after we remind you, if you've not caught on already, if you're not Canadian like me, the NHL is back, and so it's the Hockey Gambling Podcast. Join Ryan and Joel as they break down the biggest games, storylines, awards, and best bets throughout the season. Let it slide. Hockey Gambling Podcast, always entertaining. Listen, that they like us throw a bunch of other sports in as well, usually at the starting or the end of their episodes. So it won't just be hockey. All right, PFL Africa 3 at Rwanda. Gumby already said a lot of interesting, or at least a few interesting prospects on this year card. So definitely some people we've talked about before, and probably some new names and or new countries so we haven't covered before. So Kigali, as I said, Rwanda. Any Rwandan listeners or viewers, reach out, let us know. That would be very interesting if we had some not fans but followers, we'll say, in that country. So Saturday 12 p.m. Eastern, so same as Octagon, multi-screen time. This is on, it says DAZN, but who knows what I forgot to look it up. I have to look it up every day.
I think it's the app for the US. It's the app for the US.
Right. Okay, cool. You can watch it via the app in the US, which is important. PFL Africa and Canada, you can figure it out. I'm sure you all can figure it on your own. Okay, you're on your own here. The BK Arena, Burger King Arena, I assume that stands for, in Kigali, Rwanda. 10 fights. We're going to cover half of them in full, and then we'll have a lightning round for any bonus plays Gumby wants to give to us. This is one promotion we do not have odds for yet this week, but PFL odds are usually easy to find, so they will be posted, I'm sure, soon. Despite this being PFL Africa, Gumby, our first fight is England versus England. PFL is going to PFL, I guess, right?
I think this is an instance of them like feeling like they've got somebody with African heritage and throwing them on there.
Yep. Abraham Babley, England. Joffie, Houlton, England. 3 5-minute rounds at big boys. Plus with heavyweights, you really can't. You take what you can get. Okay. Houlton is 8-4, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times, submitted once. He owes his rounds. 1-0 in PFL. Oh, these are the semifinal rounds, excuse me, of the tournaments. PFL Africa tournament. So 1-0 in PFL. He's won 3 straight and 7 of 9. He went 0-1 Bellator RIP. He's fight down at light heavyweight. He's 4-3 tall and 4-3 advantage over Babley. Babley, the one and only, is 6-2 with 4 knockouts. He's never been finished in a fight. He's went 3-2 in PFL. He's won 1 of 3, but he did win via TKO in his last bout, which got him to the semis here. He went 1-0 in Bellator RIP, 2 years younger than Houlton.
Yeah, you mentioned one of his last 3. The 2 losses it should be mentioned here are both split decisions. One was to Rodrigo Nascimento following his release from the UFC, and one was to Slim Trabelsi. Both of them split decision losses. So he took one of the judges' scorecards in both of those fights. I actually thought he won the Slim Trabelsi fight, and I had Trabelsi in it. And I thought for sure when it was going to the judges' scorecards, he had taken it, and was pleasantly surprised at the way that it went down. But so, bottom line is that level of competition and just how close he was with it. You have to imagine Babley's going to be the favorite here, even if his recent results don't look good. I'm going to guess in like the negative 200, 225 kind of range. And he's my pick here too. Like if you watch Joffie Houlton, like he's not very fluid in the way that he moves in and out. It seems like his arms don't necessarily move where he wants them to in terms of like when he goes to enter grappling and stuff like that. It seems like they're almost like rogue at times. And it causes him to, despite the fact that he seems to want clinches sometimes and wants to work up against the cage, it causes him to not have underhooks, and it causes him to like get redug by his opponent too easily. And it also, causes him to get turned sometimes. And when you look at Abraham Babley, like the guy really did grapple with like some basically UFC level talent before in the past. And, I mentioned at the top, I really like the fact that, PFL's got these minor leagues. It's almost like they sent Babley down for just a little seasoning so that they could bring him back for the real tournament one day. Just like they know he's a talent and he was close to beating Nascimento. And so like he's got to go win a tournament somewhere. They'll bring him back and he'll take care of business, a little bit better the next time he's back in there. So for me, it's just the grappling of Babley's too much. The pressure is too much. And when you watch Joffie Houlton, like he has not figured out how to put it all together despite having some like pretty solid bases. And so like, I think he's got some work to do.
All right. You've got your first play of the day. Let's move on up the fight card. We are sticking with heavyweight. So the winner of this bout will face the winner of the one we just covered. Maxwell Djantou Nana. He's from Cameroon. Justin Clarke from South Africa. 3 5-minute rounds. Big boy heavyweights. We'll tell you about Clarke. He's 3-0 with 3 knockouts. 1-0 in PFL. He's an inch taller than Nana. That is it. Small resume for the man. Leonidas Nana. 7-1 with 6 knockouts. He's been submitted once. Both these guys owe us rounds, damn it. 2-0 in PFL. He's won 7 straight fights. He's not lost since July 2022, his MMA debut. A 1-0 in one championship, the biggest fight promotion in the world. And he's got 6-inch reach advantage over Clarke.
Yeah, that only loss to in his pro debut was Mario Pinto.
Right.
Yeah.
Who apparently can wrestle. God.
Man, that wrestling looked good. I actually am pretty, maybe I'm on Mario Pinto now. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was, it was weird and impressive. Yeah. So for me, I said in the last fight, we're going to get 200, maybe a little bit more than that. This one's probably 300 or a little bit more than that in favor of Nana. Clarke's undefeated record is fine, but he's 3-0. His last fight before he came to PFL Africa, he fought for EFC. I want to say EFC 115. The beginning of that fight is some of the sloppiest stuff I've ever seen. It's like both guys trying to throw haymakers and like missing a lot, and trying to get into a war but not knowing really how to do it. I wrote down, like, because when you're breaking down film on a fight, like, you look for a couple of things. Or what are they good at? What are they doing well? But also maybe one of the things I use to break down film the most is like, what is their intention? What kind of fight would they try to make this happen if they had their choice? And I don't know what Justin Clarke was looking for in that fight. At times it looked like he was trying to grab the clinch. And times it looked like he wanted to be a kickboxer. At times it looked like he was trying to brawl. I just don't know what he was even intending to do. And it was sloppy and not fun. And at one point in time, they got into the clinch. His opponent said that he poked him in the eye and tried to call timeout. And when the referee stopped it, he goes, "You didn't get poked in the eye, so this fight is over," and gave Clarke a TKO win.
Which is what should have happened on the weekend as well. But
yeah, but like whatever, so like on one hand, yeah, that's probably what was supposed to happen in this fight with Justin Clarke. But on the other hand, I'm like, and this is one of his 3 wins,
Yeah,
and then when you watch Nana, like his fights in one are actually, was it fights or fight plural, or I can't remember.
one, just one.
Yeah.
One fight.
And he fought on one of the Friday ones too, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. He didn't fight on like one proper, but he had his opponent up against the ropes, and he must have thrown 13 straight of the most vicious elbows you've ever seen in your life. Like, just violent stuff. And like, you don't have to guess what his intention is. His intention is he wants to back you up against the cage. And once you're back, once your shoulders are touching metal, he is going to unload on you with some of the most vicious looking stuff you've ever seen. Straights, elbows, knees to the body, whatever he has to do to try to get you out of there. One of his fights, I think it was the PFL Africa fight, now that I'm thinking about it. He's got the guy shells up. He's trying to throw hooks to the side, and the guy shells up. And then he just throws one clean one right down the middle. Like, he didn't ever throw anything right down the middle until he was like, oh, he's covering up on the side. And he just snipes a shot and drops the guy. So, like, he's fought on the feet, but then even more importantly than that, he comes from a judo background. So like, even if Justin Clarke's intention is like, okay, I'm not going to let him back me down, I'll just walk forward and get in the clinch, he's going to get thrown into a different, different stadium. He's going to get thrown into the third row.
That would be fun.
Yeah, he's going to get thrown into the third row or something like that. And like, Nana is just going to have his way on the ground then too. So, I mentioned like, they pretty much just need like a couple of guys to come off this show to like boost it. Nana might be one of them. And I feel that way mostly just because like he's got a good judo base. He's fought at a high level of competition. He's violent, and PFL's heavyweight division is one of its worst divisions. No, I take that back. PFL's heavyweight division is its worst division, undoubtedly. So like Nana would be like a welcomed addition to it.
Yeah, heavyweight's pretty much the worst everywhere. It's usually, well, I guess not in the glory days. Glory days heavyweight was amazing, but yeah, heavyweight seems to be the tough. Obviously, it's a tough division. Small.
Do you think it was good in our glory days that we're talking about, or do you think we just wanted to believe that like Brock Lesnar on 2 Pro Fights was like actually one of the best fights?
Right. Yeah, no, it's true. That is true. All right, before we get back to Rwanda, something I've never said before, let me tell you about MyBookie. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on football and everything else. Their popularity is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto. They will have PFL odds. So when they do, make sure you head over to MyBookie.ag. Use our promo code MMASGPN. That way you get 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. So that's MyBookie.ag. Promo code MMASGPN. And we're also brought to you by Novig, Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you're getting the best prices, like reduced juice, like minus 103 lines on favorites instead of the huge ones you get at other places. Novig is available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. All right, we're done with the big boys now, sadly, because they're always fun to talk about. We're going to 170.
That's going to be a fun finals, by the way, if it does wind up being badly. And that'll be sick.
Well, there you go. We can look forward to PFL Africa 4 for that. Shido, Boris, Esperança versus Ayinda, Octave. Octave.
We had the same talk once upon a time.
Esperança, did we figure it out or not?
Octave or Octave or no, we didn't. We both wildly speculated and then nobody checked.
Is it Esperanza or Esperanca? Esperanza, I'm going to say. He's from Angola. The one that we didn't check about, that would be Octave. I'm going to say it like music. Octave. He is from Cameroon. They are fighting at 170, like I said. Someone from Cameroon tell us how to. No, Cameroon tell us how to say that name. Octave, the Bantu Warrior, 7-0, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's 1-0 in PFL. He's won 4 straight fights via TKO. He used to fight at 155 and 185. He's 2 years younger than Esperança. Esperança Machine. That's a common nickname in the sport. He's 10-1, 5 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 2-0 in PFL. He's won 4 straight, 3 straight via finish. He's not lost since September 2022. He has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirts, get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. He used to fight at 155. 1-0 as a pro grappler. He's an inch taller than Octave.
So I think Esperança is going to be the favorite here, much less so than the first couple, though. Like maybe like a -165, -170 line here, and I'm going to take the favorite again. The big reason for me is that like this number might get dragged down a little bit because Octave is like so explosive, like he is so powerful. When he shoots a takedown, he looks like somebody going like trying to set a personal 40 time before he hits the guy. Like he is really, really, really using a lot of energy. Now, on one hand, seems to have worked for him from here, right? Like he's obviously got a great record. It's not really cost him yet. But if you watch some of his recent fights, I think I saw his fight for, was it AKO? Might have been for AKO. But he took the guy down with like a slam that was wildly unnecessary in terms of the power in which he dropped the guy. And then like he was in side control, but just because like he's using so much force and he's using so much energy that like basically all of his weight got out over his shoulders instead of in the base back near his legs and his hips. And the guy rolled him. And the guy rolled him pretty damn easy. Now he powered his way back up and like muscled his way into a good position again and wound up winning. But like there's going to be a time when the Ayinda Octave's ability to just power out of everything, it ends and he can't keep doing it. And like clearly he'd rather brawl and he'd rather shoot these freaking mammoth takedowns that have like every ounce of his energy. But like Esperança is going to piece him up with the hands, I think. I think he's a much, much better striker. He's a guy who, if he tags you too, and has you like on wobbly legs or moving backwards, he unleashes with some of the meanest hooks. And then the other thing that gives me faith here for him against Octave is like he himself goes for takedowns sometimes. You know, like if he hurts you and is backing you up, and then like maybe is like, I've kind of thrown enough of these and I'm not going to knock you out. He'll shoot a takedown. He's like not above getting a little bit of ground control in. He shoots a touch low for me. Like I don't like how he's like seemingly not on the hips. He's seemingly on like the knees and the shins and stuff like that. And he's looking for like a almost like an ankle pick kind of situation. But I don't like that about him. But he does get all of his opponents down and seems to scramble well and have good control positions. And so like that gives me faith that like most likely he's going to stuff some of Octave's attempts, or he's got a good enough base where he should be able to roll or sweep Octave. So, you know, I like Esperança striking. I like his ability to stay smart. He does have a recent submission win too, if I'm not mistaken. He went, it's like high angle guillotine or like ninja choke or something like that. So like he's got some good stuff in there too, if Octave gets sloppy with his takedown. So yeah, I'm going to go to Shido Boris Esperança.
All right. Co-main event is one half of the bantamweight semifinals. We have got another South African fighter in it. Once I actually get, there we go. Nkosi Ndebele versus Simbarashe Hokonya. He is from Zimbabwe. 3 5-minute rounds, 135. Hokonya is the Hawk. 6-0 with 1 knockout. He also has some finishes. 1-0 in PFL. He's fight at 145. 3 years younger than Ndebele. Ndebele is king. 9-3, 6 knockouts. He's been submitted once. He's 1-0 in PFL. He's won 3 of 4 and 8 of 10. TKO win in his last bout. He was the Brave CF champion in a past life. He's fight at 145, 4 inches taller than Hokonya.
Yeah, wasn't he the Brave champ at 25 though too? So I think he fought at 45 and 25
oh yeah, you might be right
too. Yeah, I think he fought down as well. Because no, he definitely did because it was Shorty Torres he beat. For the belt. Actually, they fought 3 times. Him and Shorty did. He won the last 2 of them after losing the first one. I have to imagine that run in Brave has to have him as a pretty large favorite. I'm going to be honest. This is one of the few fights where I like went to look and see what the tapologist said. They're all way in on Hokonya, which I was super shocked by, being that Ndebele has fought so many good fighters and done really well against those good fighters. I don't think, I went to like check on it, and then I'm like, no, that's not going to sway the books. The books are going to know that Nkosi and Ndebele is going to be the favorite. So I'm going to say like negative 275 on him. The big piece for me is, if you watch Hokonya, he wants to brawl. He wants to throw big. He wants this to be messy. And if you watch Ndebele strike, like, he's not going to let that happen. He like karate stylist, side kicks to the oblique, a lot of that kind of stuff. He was doing a really good job of keeping Shorty Torres at range. Shorty rushed in once. He just picked up the knee and dropped him with that. Like, he's sharp on the feet. Then on top of that too, like, he's had really good bouts of wrestling as well, where he is the aggressor. He is the guy wrestling. And like, he's good defensively from that position too. Like, if you watch the fights with Shorty Torres gets in on some takedowns and just like never settles in against Ndebele, because he just gets up. He's smart in the way that he does it. He's long and lanky, but like probably a little bit less so at bantamweight, but I still think he'll be like the rangier fighter here. And in terms of the grappling of Hokonya, like, pretty much all I've ever seen from him is like, as he's brawled his way in, he's almost like it accidentally started wrestling. Like, he's like wildly throwing so much, he gets to the cage and he like runs into the guy he's fighting. And that guy like falls down as part of like just a car crash on the feet. And like, there's no way he can do that to Ndebele. Like, he cuts angles too well. He circles out of the danger well. He throws kicks to keep his distance well. He's popping you on the way in. He's got the big knee that can knock you down. I just think there's so many weapons there for Ndebele. I don't think Hokonya's got a chance to tag him.
All right, and those fights were at bantamweight, by the way, so I was right all along. They weren't.
He fought Shorty at bantamweight.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Shorty must have bulked up for that. So Ndebele, and you said about 275. Unfortunately,
my guess,
right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, before we get to the main event, a couple more sponsors to tell you about, so we can keep the lights on here. Underdog. Underdog is a great place to play fantasy pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' stats. It's available for a ton of sports. Gummy's got a sport for you right now and a play.
Sure. We got the NLCS here on Monday. So if you're listening to this, you're about to see the NLCS. And I'm going to go with Jackson Churio. I'm going to take the higher than on his hits. Right now, they've got his hits listed at just 0.5, which seems kind of silly for me, because if you look back to that series with the Cubs, he had 6 hits over 5 games. So he's on pace. And actually, he had a hit in 5 of those, or 4 of those 5 games. So Jackson Churio, let's put him on the board with a hit.
And he's a real person. Gummy didn't fake us out this time. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code MMASGPN. And Rhythm is crushing it in college football and NFL with picks and props. They went 8-2 in passing props overs in week 5 and 5-0 in Dylan and Gabriel debut props. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you can win $1,000. Gummy probably has a play for you right now that we can look up at Rhythm.
Yeah, Monday Night Football. Let's take the Commanders covering the 5.5. They're dropping to the Bears. I think they should cover that pretty easily. So give me the Commanders.
All right. And use our promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm, RITHMM, and use promo code SGPN25. See if they agree with the old Gumby. All right. Main event is a featherweight semifinal bout. Patrick Ocheme, he is from Nigeria. Abdul Razac Sankara, he is the one from Burkina Faso, right? 3-5 in rounds, 145. Sankara is Sankaristi is the nickname. 7-4, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been submitted once. 1-0 in PFL. He's won 3 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. All the past 3 wins have come via TKO. He's fed at 155 and 170. 6 years younger than Ocheme. He's got an inch reach advantage over him. Ocheme's star boy, BOI, 7-1 with 4 knockouts. He's 1 loss. Do you know who he lost to, Gumby? His lone loss?
No, I don't.
You haven't blocked this guy's name. Perhaps you have blocked his name out of your head. Eliezer Kubonga. Or Kubanza, excuse me. Yeah, Kubanza is his only loss.
Was that in Brave too?
He may have been. That I don't know off the top of my head. One known PFL for Ocheme. He's won 5 straight. He's not lost since November 2022. He's fought at 155 and 170. He's got 2 inches of height over Sankara.
I think Ocheme is going to be maybe one of the biggest favorites on this card. People seem to love this dude. My guess is like high 3s, low 4s. And this is going to be my lone underdog pick here. I'm going to take Sankara. I think he's going to be, you're probably going to be able to get him in the 3s in terms of his plus, depending on how high Ocheme goes in there. But been a bare minimum plus 300. And there's lots to like about this guy. So, obviously Ocheme has got the hype behind him. He's only lost to one very, very good prospect. But Sankara, I really believe in this guy striking. He's coming off that win on PFL from the question mark kick. I don't know if you remember watching PFL Africa too, or if you ever did, because hey, we're a niche, we're a niche here. But he landed one of the most vicious question mark kicks I've seen in some time. The dude lands face down on his nose, doesn't move, and Sankara just walks away from it. It's it's some really pretty stuff. In addition to that, too, he's got kind of a sneaky submission game. If you watch his stuff before he got to PFL, some ninja choke type stuff that he sneaks in there if people get lazy with their grappling. So I really kind of like what I've seen from him. And then from Ocheme, I get why he's a prospect. He's super light on his feet. He cuts really weird angles, kind of similar to I'm not gonna say he's Dominic Cruz, but he's Cruz-esque in the way that he cuts angles. It's weird for the sake of being weird in hopes that you won't catch him. And it seemingly works most of the time. But he also does, as he starts to hit you in these weird exchanges, he gets kind of sloppy and reckless at times. And that's really where I see the opening for Sankara here. You mentioned lots of knockout wins, particularly lately. And Ocheme is a guy who, is used to not getting hit because he's weird. But then as soon as he starts hitting you, or as soon as he starts to feel some confidence, he kind of starts to just throw kind of wild. And I really think there's a good chance he gets caught by Sankara in there. So I'm going to go with Sankara here. Hopefully we get some underdog price.
All right, let's give you a recap here. Sankara, Ndebele, Esperança, Nana, and Babli. Now lightning rounds at Bam Boom Pow. You have anything else for us, Gamble?
Sure, I'm going to take Dwight Joseph as my first one. He actually won on Contender Series and didn't get a contract. And he won on Contender Series over a guy who wound up in the UFC too, Jay Perrin. So pretty high level win for a dude on Contender Series. It was a lot of wrestling and didn't get a contract because it wasn't super exciting, but really, really good prospect here. Probably going to be a big favorite, but hey, maybe he's a good parlay piece. And then the other one I'm going to take is Yabna and T'Challa. I doubted the hell out of him in the last fight. He was fighting Sinan Sadek, who I said was, I think, what PFL wants their poster boy to be, because he just throws absolute hammers, and I thought he was going to go in there and win. And T'Challa went in there and handled him pretty nicely. So I'm on his hype train all of a sudden. So once again, that's Yabna and T'Challa and Dwight Joseph.
All right, you're all set for PFL Africa 3. We'll be in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We'll be checking out our YouTube comments, MMA Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you. We are at SGPN MMA on Twitter. He's at Gamble Responsibly, and I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. At Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram for me as well. You can find me at my Substack as well, running free UFC pick'em contests and doing articles at moneymma.substack.com. You can catch Gumby at his other podcast, Top Turtle. He has a couple of Canadians on this week. Yeah, we got Melissa Scare-Crowden, who is going to be making her UFC debut. She's one of the few who did not go through tough for Contender Series, just a straight up signing by the UFC. And then not even late notice either, which is crazy. And then we got Ayman Zahabi right before he throws down with Shido Vera. So check out Top Turtle. And of course, you can check all of our work out at where are we at? sportsgamblingpodcast.com. That would be it. The mothership, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store for your merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon for your bonus content. We got some KSW going on tomorrow after Gumby bids you farewell. All right, I'm Dana Gumby Freeland. He's Leonidas Jeff Fox, and we will see you tomorrow.